Hi, I'm Chef Lou, and I'm going to show you how to poach eggs. To poach means to cook completely submerged in simmering liquid. In some cases, a flavorful liquid, such as chicken stock or a preparation called court bouillon, which is basically water, wine, and seasonings. But for eggs, we generally poach them just in water. To poach eggs requires fresh eggs, and this can be a challenge. Freshness of the egg matters because the older the egg gets after being laid, the more the white of the egg, the albumin, tends to separate and thin away from the yolk. And to get a good looking poached egg, we like the white to stay around the yolk to make a nice oval shape. So if you don't have access to freshly laid eggs from your backyard or to a local farmer's market, we have a little trick that can help keep the egg whites more closely surrounding the yolk. And that trick is to add a little bit of vinegar to the water. For about a quart of water, just about half a teaspoon by eye of white vinegar. And that will help the white coagulate more quickly and give you a better looking egg. So the next step then is to get the egg into the water out of the shell. And there are two ways to do this: the quicker, more professional way, and then a little safer way if you've not done this often. So to do the professional way, I've taken my egg and I'm going to crack the egg on the side of the pan and open it gently. And now I have to get my thumb in there and really close to the water in order to get the egg to go in there nicely and not drop from any kind of height, which can cause the egg to break. So there you can see that this egg is relatively fresh. The white has spread out a little bit, but there's still a nice circle or oval of white around the yolk. So a safer way, if you're just beginning, to get the egg in, is to crack the egg ahead of time into a little dish. Get the dish really, really close to the water, and then let the egg go in. So you have two choices as to how you want to do this. So now we've just added 2 cold eggs out of the refrigerator into our water. And what that's going to do, it's going to lower the temperature of the simmering water. So we have to wait for the temperature to recover. Now you'll notice that I've chosen a saute pan rather than a saucepan for this. And the reason is to give us that surface area that's going to allow us to get our hands, fingers, or the dish right down in there on the surface of the water. A non-stick saute pan is a good choice because as the raw egg goes in, it is very likely to touch the bottom of the pan. And if the pan is a non-stick, then you're not going to have the issue of the raw egg sticking to the bottom of the pan. No matter what surface of pan you use, it's important that when the egg goes straight in, give it a little bit of time before you start trying to move it, because the white needs to coagulate around the yolk. The one thing that you can do, as you can see, there is some loose egg white. You can see the protein coagulation. And to help you see what's happening in your pan better, you can skim this excess white off so that you have a better vision of what's going on in your pan. So you can see that we're beginning to recover the simmer. And this egg that I have dropped in first, the one in the front, has now released from the bottom. It's floating, as is the one in the back. Now, you can see that there are some stragglers here, ragged edges of white that you might want to remove. get those out while the egg is poaching. Remove that. And the poaching process is well underway. So the doneness of a poached egg depends on your personal preference and also on the use to which you're going to put the egg. For a breakfast egg, my preference is to have the whites just set gently, not firmly, and to have the yolk very soft, as you can see there from me pushing on it. Okay? Here we can see the other one is catching up. It's still a little softer. So it's important to know which one goes into the pan first. So we've judged by eye and by doneness, and now this egg is done and ready to serve. So before we put it into our dish or bowl, we don't want excess water to be coming off of the egg and making our plate wet. So I'm going to take a folded paper towel, as you can see here, and I'm just going to blot the egg on the towel. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring my dish and slide the egg into it. Make sure that you don't put the egg back into the dish that you used with raw egg, because we don't want to contaminate our cooked egg with raw egg. There you can see the second one is blotted. And we go ahead and put it in its dish. Now, if appearances are important to you, if this is going to be a garnish egg on top of a salad or on top of some other kind of a dish, you can take a moment and just take a paring knife and cut around the ragged edges there. And just push those off. Or even just let them go underneath. And there you have a really nice poached egg. So, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something and I hope you had fun. Thanks.